Hello. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a Google form from data in a Google Sheet using the Form Maker add-on for Sheets. I want to show you how much quicker and easier it is to create forms this way. The add-on also allows you to automate some functions which are a bit cumbersome to do manually, like close it when you reach a specified number of responses, that sort of thing. I'm not going to go into those today. I'll do those in a separate video. To get started, you need to download the add-on from the add-on store, which I've already done. So it's there in my list of add-ons. Choose Form Maker, open the sidebar menu, and this menu opens up. There are actually 4 menus in this sidebar. You can get to the others by clicking on this icon here. So there's the form menu. You can see there's a question bank menu, a navigation menu, and an options menu. I'm not going to go into those in too much detail today, but just briefly, the question bank menu allows you to maintain a bank of questions which you can reuse over and over again and use on different forms. The navigation menu allows you to specify that if for a multiple choice question, if the user selects A, they go to page 2. If they select B, they go to page 3. And C, they go to page 4, and so on. And then the options menu is to allow you to deal with more than just a couple of options. So for multiple choice questions, you can have up to 1,000 options. You store those in a different part of the spreadsheet, and the options menu allows you to create the link to put it into the form. It also then can be automated to reduce those options as options get used up. So if we just concentrate on the form menu for a moment, the first thing you have to do is create a sheet. So this creates a brand new sheet in the spreadsheet, and it lays it out the way it needs to be to allow the add-on to pick up the right data to put in the right place in the form. So here's a new sheet. The first 3 rows are about the form settings. The only one that you must populate is the form title. And if you don't put something in there and try to create it, it will return an error message. The other settings, I put details of what those are about and the different values on my website, and I'll put a link to that in the description. So then the next 2 rows, are about the headings for the questions section of this sheet. It's easy if I talk about that with some questions in, so I'm just going to pause the video for a second while I get some questions in there. So I'll come back to the first 3 columns in a little while. The first column I've put something in is the question type. So you have a drop-down menu, and you can choose the types of questions, type of question for this row. You'll notice not all of them are questions, so you can put in page breaks and section headers as well, and images and videos. But if the first one I've chosen is a short text question, this column you type in the actual question. In here you put in the help text for the question, and then here you put whether it's a required question or not. And then the remaining columns are relevant to different types of questions. So this next one is for videos and images. I've put a URL for a YouTube video there. The next set of columns are about multiple choice, checkbox, and drop-down questions. So the first column is about the choices you're going to give people, users for this question. Each option is separated, in this case by a comma, because that's what I've specified here as the option separator. So the default is commas, but you can have any character you want. So for longer questions, which might include a comma in the statement, I don't want it to split on that comma, so I use semicolons as the separator for those. But again, you can use whatever you want. Some of the questions allow you to specify an other option. And then if it's a quiz, you can specify here what the correct answer is. Then these columns are about the scale question. So this is a scale question about how confident are you with this topic. And you can specify what the lower level is. So you can have a 0 or 1, and what the upper level is. So anywhere from 2 to 10. And you can put labels on what the 1 and the 10 mean. These columns are about grid type questions. So this is a grid question. And again, it's about putting different options in. And again, they have to be separated by whichever character you've specified as the option separator. The next columns, which I'm not going to go into too much detail about, are about validation rules. And you'll see here that this question, the grid question, and the short text question are the only ones with drop-down arrows, because you can specify validation types for those, and they're different. So for text questions, you can specify those. For a grid question, you can only do that limit to 1 response per column. So this changes dynamically depending on what sort of question it is, and then the other parameters change depending on the previous choices. Then over here are the settings for quizzes. If you assign a points value to any question, the form will become a quiz. You don't have to set points for all your questions. And then these other columns are about the feedback you give to people if they get the right answer, if they get it wrong, or if it's for those questions that aren't automatically marked that way. So for whether it's correct, incorrect, or not marked, you can specify the feedback text, you can specify a link to take them to some more information, and you can specify the text that will form that link. So once you've added your questions, over here on the menu, you can, if you press the form button, it starts spinning to tell you it's going to do something. The form edit URL will appear in there, and as the questions are created in the form, they will be, the item ID will appear here. And that's important if you want to update a question later, because it needs to work with the item ID to know which question it's going to update. So speaking of that, this column you put, if you want to change a question, change the contents, you can change the details in the row, put a Y in the update column, and do that for as many as you want. If you want to add questions as well, you can insert a row and put the question in where you want it to appear. Once you've done all that, if you press the update / add button, it will update those questions you've got a Y against and add any new questions. If you want to delete a question, you put a Y again in this column against the questions you want to delete, and press the delete button, and it will get rid of those questions that from the form that have a Y against them. They will stay in the sheet. So if we go and have a look at the form, so this is spinning because it's loading that video. It'll take a few seconds to do that. While it's doing that, let me just talk to you about some of the things that you can't do through the add-on. So you can't specify the color theme or the header image. You can't shuffle the order of options in a multiple choice question. So this is a multiple choice question. So if I want the order of the list to appear differently for different people, I've got to specify it here. Also, with these questions, in the form editor, you can use pictures as your options, and you can use pictures for the question. You can't do that through the add-on. And one final thing, in the settings, for the quiz settings part of it, you can make it a quiz, but you can't specify these settings. you have to come in and edit them. Sorry about that, it's very frustrating, but Google don't give us the options to do that through a script. When and if they do, I'll update the add-on. So this is what the form looks like in edit mode now. So if I go and preview it, that's what it looks like. And I think that's all to cover in this video. Thank you for watching. If you've got any comments, any feedback, any suggestions for things I should do with the add-on, please leave them in the comments below. There's a link in the description to more information about it from my website, and you can install the add-on from there if you're interested. Thank you for watching.